Prepper reads, play a piano with help from Bubbles Bear. I did a video on this and I referred to this throughout the video as the piano player, and I think language is an interesting thing, at least it is for me. It actually is to play a piano, a novel, and I'm going to talk about why that's important. The piano plays itself. It's a player piano. It works by, this is 1953 book, it works by precursors of the digital age, which is hand cards, so pre-modern computing and AI. And in this world, post-nuclear war, without much nuclear war in it, America has become a world where human creativity and human desire to learn and focus and grow has been entirely replaced by efficiency and extreme capitalism. Now, as a prepping book, this is not very good. As a Kurt Vonnegut book, it's okay for him. It's not as funny as most of his books. As a book that makes you think about the world that may be coming, the world of robotics, the world of artificial intelligence, the world of mega corporations that effectively completely control one or more sectors of the world's economy, this is a great book for that. It's fairly 1953, the world is male. It's not very likely that this world will ever appear, I don't think, now. It's set in Ilium, New York. And it says right off the get-go, Ilium, New York is divided into 3 parts. In the northwest are the managers and engineers and civil servants and a few professional people. In the northeast are the machines. In the south, across the Iroquois River, is the area known locally as Homestead, where almost all of the people live. Yeah, this is a world where most people have no effective job. Everybody has a job, but very few people have any jobs that have any realistic meaning. And this came about because of the war. During the war, in hundreds of Iliums across America, managers and engineers learned to get along without their men and women who went to fight. It was a miracle that won the war. Production with almost no manpower. In the patois of the north side of the river, it was the know-how that won the war. Democracy owed its life to know-how. And that's kind of Kurt's irony here. This is not a democratic society that's been formed. What you have, in fact, is extreme capitalism that is almost, it actually is communism, and it's so extreme. It makes efficient sense. Anyway, people fight, and they fought, and they sabotaged the machines, and it didn't work very well for them. They didn't win. Talks a little bit about Thomas Edison, some history and stuff. Now this is one of the interesting ones here, and we're going through this right now in our part of the world. It seemed very fresh to me. I mean, the part where you say how the first industrial revolution devalued muscle work, and the second one devalued routine mental work. I was fascinated. To the people who were going to be replaced by machines, maybe. A third one, eh? In a way, I guess the third one's been going on for some time. If you mean thinking machines. That would be the third revolution. I guess machines that devaluate human thinking. Some of the big computers, like EPICAC, that's the world computer that controls all of America, do that all right in specialized fields. So yeah, this is an interesting thing for us to be thinking about. Is thinking becoming devalued? Yeah, I think it is. I teach students in 3rd and 4th year university course in nursing. I would say over the last decade, their ability to make constructive, independent and original thoughts has become less. What I see online is a crying out against this new world from a lot of people, specifically preppers. I think that's got a large part of the back to earth movement, the otherwise known as homesteading or bugging out now in prepping, same thing. A desire for a simpler world where you control the means of your own production and eating, and you control what you do day to day. Because what we're living in right now, I'm just going to adjust the camera, what we're having is a world where we're now starting to sell refrigerators that can tell the store to send you milk so you never need to run out of milk. Because you can no longer think that you're going to run out of milk and order it. Or your family is too oblivious to notice that you're going to run out of milk. Now milk's a terrible product anyway, right? Is this a possible world? In the world terms of this book, no. It's kind of like Mad Men, right? This is a boys' club. The only female who works in the Ilium manufactory, this one manufacturer manufactures everything. There's only 100 people work there. There's only 100 people actually doing anything, and most of them are supervising machines. Not directly even either. They're being told by machines which machines to go and supervise. So the manager, Paul, Professor Paul Proteus, he is very much a senior leader of this world, and he hates it. He has one female in the 100 people, and that's his secretary, who's also a professor. I mean, if you don't have a PhD, you're not going to get a real job anymore in this world. And she's there just for status, really, because all secretarial functions machines decided during the war could be done by machine. Now we're getting to that world now. We're getting to a world now where in Canada, 80 to 85% of high school students go to university to do a baccalaureate degree. Now not all of them get a baccalaureate degree, but a large number of them do. So increasingly a baccalaureate degree in Canada is high school for young adults. And increasingly employers want a degree for more and more jobs that really don't require a degree. So the idea of that in our society is to indebt the people, put them in debt to the financial controls of the population so they can't ever really effectively rebel or criticize the controlling structure because they're too busy trying to make bill payments, or they're too afraid to lose unsecured employment because of how much debt they have. So that's my personal belief on why the system's been created. Take that or leave it as you want. It used to be that the richer you were, the better you were. I've wanted to admit, pretty tough for the have-nots to take. Really? Money and wealth no longer count in this world? I told you it was communist. He just never uses that term, but that's what this world is. It is that world, because what happens now is that the machines set an IQ test nationally, and you have to take these IQ tests. And the results of the IQ tests are actually stored in the police station, because a lot of all jobs, to a large degree all homes, to a large degree clothing, to a large degree marriage, is absolutely controlled by your IQ, as determined by this machine program. The brilliant, the engineers and the professors, are now the rich. Now our world, like I said, this world's not going to be our world. Our world is different. It's where wealth, without brains a lot of time, is actually the deciding factor. But whatever is the deciding factor, it slams the doors shut on the majority of the population ever achieving fame, wealth and status that a tiny elite have. And the tiny elite in this book, like the more IQ you have, the more IQ your wife will have, the more likely your children are to have a high IQ. So you have an oligarchy developing here based on IQ. In our world, we have an oligarchy based upon wealth and fame. For example, most of the people who are famous in American and Canadian society are blood relations of other famous people. Think about that. Canada's Prime Minister is our prime minister only because his dad was prime minister. He would never have become prime minister or leader of the Liberals, or even probably an MP if he was just a high school teacher. A middle school teacher, actually, I think. I'm not criticising, I'm saying that's reality. Even our prime ministers in Canada are blood relatives to other prime ministers. Now, the United States of America, which claims to be a republic, clearly is not, because you also have an oligarchical system. You had the Bushes, you had Clinton, you almost had the Clinton as an ongoing thing. You may have Clinton, Hillary or Chelsea in 2020, 2024, 2028. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if Baron Trump ends up being president one day. Would not shock me in the slightest if Ilana becomes the first American female president. Oligarchy, control, bad things. Now this is an interesting one. So Paul really loves the idea of farming and homesteading, and using his wealth and power, actually plays with doing it. And it's hilarious because it doesn't work very well. He doesn't like the work. That's the truth of it. Farming now there was a magic word. Like so many words with little magic from the past still clung to them. The word farming was a reminder of what rugged stock present generation had come from, of how tough a thing a human being could be if he had to. The word had little meaning in the present. There were no longer farmers, but only agricultural engineers. In the rich Iroquois Valley in Ilium County, thousands of settlers had once made their living from the soil. Now Dr. Armand Van Kooler managed the farming of the whole county with 100 men and several $1 million worth of machinery. Yeah, I mean, inflation has made the figures from 1953 look a bit weak, but it's still basically true. Farming, Paul's pulse quickened, and he daydreamed of living a century before, living in one of the many farmhouses now crumbling to their foundations in the valley. Doesn't work out well for him. So the book is good because it shows how the population is actually controlled and the rest of it. Even the army, and everybody has to join the army because everybody has to have a job, right? There's communism, capitalism, everybody works, there's no social assistance, so they implement that nationally. So being capitalist and everybody has to work but there are no jobs, they make everybody work. Same as communism basically. All jobs are pointless. So the army is massive. Now they don't arm the soldiers because that would present a huge risk of rebellion. So they only actually arm the soldiers when they ship the soldiers abroad for occupation of the countries that they fought and beat in the war. Now they talk about how everything's now promotion. Ever stop to think about that? Everything you think because somebody else promoted the ideas. Education, nothing but promotion. Good promotion and bad promotion. So this goes back to bias. Everything is agenderized now. Even scientific research is done with a programmed agenda in mind, mostly, not always. Most videos from preppers are done with a clear agenda in mind, whether it's pro-gun, anti-gun, anti-government, pro-government, wishing for people to survive of a certain type rather than another type. Think about the next time you watch any random video on prepping, where you don't know the host because you haven't watched their stuff before, sit there and don't focus on what they're saying and what you agree and disagree with. Think about who are they, why are they saying this, who are they addressing the video actually to, who is that audience they're addressing it to, and what change or non-change is that host wanting to see in the world from doing this video. Kind of a scary thing. You can do that for everything. I do that all the time, but I'm cynical. So they're all very worried about saboteurs stopping the machinery and all the rest of it. And at the end of the day, the book finishes. So I would say this is about a B as a read. If you like Kurt Vonnegut, I would actually get this from the library. I wouldn't pay money for it. And I would read it. It's kind of fun. It has a few ideas in it that are going to make you think about the world we're heading into, the world of no valuable labour, a tiny elite of specialists who have most of the wealth and power and fame, and the vast majority of the population are either going to be in communist socialism on welfare or in extreme capitalism doing pointless jobs. The outcome for human soul and human heart and human mind will be the same under both political systems. The concept that humanity can be happy with no creative job is not a valid thing. We are programming our new generation to be able to sit there and entertain themselves for hours and hours and hours on end by passive means using computer games and Facebook and all the rest of it. So we are setting up a system where we can control the vast majority of the population into doing very little. But I'm not sure it's the way the world should go, but that's the way the world is going. Our pianos are all becoming player pianos, and I think it's a good, worrisome thing to read. Anyway, au revoir. That's all from Hoople's Cat and Mr. Bear. Bear, say goodbye. Very dynamic. Jules, have a great day. It's beautiful. I'm going to stick a little video up at the end of this because it's beautiful. Bye.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch
What an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. Just thought I'd share with you. Snow should be gone in 2 to 3 days. Spring is sprung.